up to four attributes in the table. And only 4 because after a while there won't be enough space left. And everything will start to get smushed together. So we thought, okay, but obviously you want to display as much information about your downloads as possible, right? So we added a tooltip, and once clicked, it just gonna display, right? I'm gonna show this as an anonymous user. And then when clicked, it's going to show a slider, and there will be extra information about the download. Thumbnail, the name, the category, and attributes, whatever you want. But what's handy about this is it's also a layout, so you can configure it as well. So what you saw there, if I go to downloads, if I click on downloads, I go to my downloads administrator overview, and here I have layouts, and here I have the layout which you just saw. And you can also add attributes that you want to be visible for your users. Okay. So for example, here I added a description of the download. This is just a list of download attributes. I can add additional ones like product name, etc. But of course, because there are so many products connected to it, it's maybe not going to look ideal for that. So my suggestion would be putting the product name in a section then, or somehow. So you can add additional information about your downloads. Also,
this doesn't make sense, right? Is this a product data sheet for that many products?
Yes. I think it's a general. No, this was the glass mineral wool help sheet.
No, this is the SDS, I think.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
it's.
Yeah, okay.
The reason why
it's so slow that it does.
Yeah.
The connection is so slow that it's.
I think the main question here, Martin, is how is this generated if you don't do anything? Is it automatic, the thumbnail and the tooltip?
Yes, the thumbnails. Basically. When we pitched the thumbnail solution, it was basically just chosen that thumbnails were always generated automatically and could not be added with a file.
Right.
Okay.
But that actually only works for PDFs. Because a PDF, you have the first page of the PDF, that we can create a screenshot from automatically, but for an RTF file, or your BIM files, that's not going to be possible.
Yeah, but do you have maybe a standard then for BIM?
Not really a standard for BIM per se. What we did is I'm just going to go to the technical support. I was put there. We have basically a no thumbnail fallback, which is just an image of, just so that the width doesn't get lost.
That looks not that nice, right?
Well, the default can be changed if you want. That's not a lot of work for us. But it's not configurable or something. It has to be an image that's for all websites.
But Vivian, those are the kind of things that I'm looking for in the feedback. Yeah. So that's actually why I'm asking you to look at it. So
yeah, but if we don't need, okay. But that was my question. If we don't, because this is it may be an awful lot of work to add all the informations about the product. I won't have time for that. The thumbnails can be of added value for people to sort instead of the names. So this photograph image, well.
Yeah, but
really
okay. I mean, if it's all saying BIM, it's also not going to give you a lot of information.
I think that's the only thing where we don't have PDF files actually.
Yeah, so that's anyway. You see, then that's a BIM extension or a different type of extension.
We have two. We have IFC and RVT.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think they need to see which one it is.
You see it in the extension, huh?
That's the extension,
Yeah.
and if you would have BIM for both, it's confusing.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have like that again, the extension as some sort of image-like thing, BIM RVT, BIM IFC, then I think we're almost there.
So I think you can give that suggestion in the feedback, and then we put that probably as a kind of a nice to have, because I would say that's not.
Yeah.
Let's say. That's not let's say a hard stop for launching the new functionality. So that I will let's put that in a kind of in our back of the mind. But I agree with the sorting. The sorting there we should have. So I've noted that down. Okay, so this is about the download section. So we've covered now on the product page the sticky menu, the call to action buttons, the products, on how the sorting is different.
Can I just have a comment also on the download section?
Yes.
So you know in the file names there that you can click on, so where you have what the literature type is at the start, so like a product data sheet or whatever. So if you was to filter by product data sheet, you're still going to have, as a user, they're still going to have to troll through and look for a product data sheet for Earthwool or product data sheet for Superfill. Is there any way that you can have the brand?
Wait, because this is the product page, Claire. So you are on a page for a product, so you should only see the download for that product. So we're not on the download page yet.
In the download section,
yeah, we're not there yet.
You filter a data sheet, and you have data sheet appearing first in the file name.
Yep.
That doesn't really help filter to find what you want.
I have a solution for that. I have a solution for that. But maybe we should go over the product first, and then when we tackle the downloads, then I'll explain how you can fix that particular issue.
So, because I think that fits with the download section, so we're still in the product section.
Okay.
But so, keep that in mind, yeah? Write it down.
Yeah. Okay, additional things we added, share link, and you click on it, download has been copied to your clipboard, so you can share it with people. Also, when you, I'm just gonna refresh. Now, what happens when you select a download, it gets stored in your session. When you go back to the page, it's still active. Damn, that was a bug.
Write it down.
Yeah, sorry. So if you find anything like that, please let me know. More hands are better than one.
Yeah, this is what I'm asking. It's not like deeply tested. Just, go through it, and unless you see something that's saying hard stop to go live, I go live in the beginning of the next year. But I don't want to just go live without anyone looking at it, because we can see some things, but if 4 people take a look, for sure there's more things that will come out.
Okay. So, and then of course you have your filter here, which is basically on category. You click it, it's going to just show the product data sheets, etc. You also have to activate this functionality. Go to your layout. Here you have show categories, and it's gonna show the filter. I think this is okay. We also did some things on the related products. Now there's going to be a slider when you have like 25 products related to one product. You're going to see a slider, and then people can just navigate through it. Maybe I'm going to go to the Netherlands site real quick, because we forgot to mention one part. Is also now it's possible to add additional images to your product.
Okay, good.
In the BIM, you just upload a new product on BIM. Netherlands. You can just upload them here, and the product will become visible on the detail page. This image is always the main image and will be shown on teasers and on related product references, etc. And it's basically the first image you upload here. So if you ever want to change the first image, you're gonna have to delete, unfortunately, all other images and then re-upload them.
Okay, so that's the product page, I think.
Yes, I will just mention one more thing. Okay, so what we also added now is the possibility to add additional attribute types in PIN. Okay, so what I had to do is I split the one product attribute into 3 separate parts. You have your advanced product attributes, which are your attributes which contain value, unit, norm, symbol, etc. Okay? All these have been migrated. You have your reference products, which are all your products which can only contain a fixed set of values, which you can edit and alter, for example. Okay? And you have your long text attributes. And your long text attributes can be used to create additional long text on your product detail page, which I'll now show on the UK image. So you can see what I did with the UK is I added 2 new long text attributes, environmental impact and environmental impact 2 as a test. And I added them to $3.37. And they basically are shown on the general page, and you can add additional text, and then you can put them on your product layout. And that's shown here. So I have 2 types. One is basically just one of the attribute values. If you want to add this to your page, you just edit your layout again. You have here a product detail page section, which you can edit. And here you have a product text element, where you can select a long text attribute. It's always best to take value. Or you can add tabs. Yeah? If you want to add tabs, you just add a new one. I'm going to use the same one. Save. So here, this is the generic text element, yeah? And these are the tabs. 2, 3. These are new elements that you can use on your product detail pages for additional information, and also for SEO purposes, this can be leveraged a bit to give your a better score on certain keywords, for example. Okay?
Yeah, great.
I think that's about everything of the product detail page.
Okay.
Questions on products before we go to what do we do next? Downloads or search?
Let's go downloads.
Wait, okay, so any question on products?
No.
Okay. So what I would like to do, and honestly, and this is my kind of feedback, I would like to have this live really as soon as possible, because it will help us so much with the SEO, and also it will help us because then we can go to the new server and it will help on the speed and all the, let's say, outages we've had recently. So this is why I'm pushing kind of hard on this with you, because as soon as I get, let's say, okay, this is good enough, we can go, then we go.